All right, guys, I got a couple things. I'm not going to ramble on about it, but I don't think we talked about the Amazon Prime Bye Bye Barry, but I loved it. I loved it. It showed
Yeah.
every highlight. Maybe they didn't get into some in-depth things some local people maybe think they should have, but I thought it was very well done. And it was cool to see Barry, his family, all the highlights. It was awesome.
So that I haven't watched it yet, and I'm definitely going to. Just haven't had time, since it came
Yeah,
out
you've been
because
busy.
Barry Sanders is my favorite football player ever. So I'm gonna watch it at some point. But that's some of the criticism that I've seen is that some people said they wanted to know why he retired. People were like, we want to know the dirt. We want to know
Right.
why you stepped away, how the Lions wronged you, all that kind of stuff. And I'd be interested to know maybe something like that. But it's also kind of like, man, move on. Everyone has moved on. Barry has moved on. He's still around the team. He comes around the team all the time. He comes at practices and training camp. So it's kind of like this is just a cool look at this legendary guy, but one of the best running backs ever. Let's just reflect on his career, and everyone moved on. I don't know. So
Mhm.
I was kind of glad that they didn't get into all the dirt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Barry Sanders saying a mean thing. I don't know. He just seems like such a nice guy. He really does. I haven't seen the doc yet either. I'll be curious because I don't really know. I've seen all the Barry Sanders highlights, but it'll be cool to kind of see a career retrospective of what he really was like and what those teams were like. Because I really don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
I just know he made people miss. And you couldn't tackle him.
He had some good players on that 91 team. That was as close as to the Super Bowl they were ever going to get until maybe this year or next year. We'll see how it goes. But, there really wasn't a lot of dirt. It was more of the front office made some bonehead moves. They could have signed Joe Montana. Joe Montana wanted to play for the Detroit Lions and when he signed with the Chiefs. He still had a year or two in him. They had Scott Mitchell. They could have had Joe Montana. That was just one of the things, So
I saw an interview. I saw an interview with Barry when the documentary came out, and someone I forget if it was McAfee or because he was making his rounds. He was on basically every show, but whoever it was that was interviewing asked him, "Did you know about the Joe Montana thing at the time, or when did you find out?" And he was like, "I didn't find out until basically after he retired."
Yeah,
And
Wayne Fonts told him.
Right. He's like, did that piss you off? He's like, well, yeah, it's Joe Montana. But right, to Jared's point, he didn't say anything mean. He didn't say anything bad.
No.
Did you guys had to see that Scott Mitchell came out after the documentary came out and was basically, he went off and was basically like, screw all you Lions fans that said I'm the reason Barry never got a Super Bowl, all that kind of stuff. It was like, oh, geez.
Dude, every time one of these docs come out, these people are pissed about it. Every time there's former players that are pissed.
I got to watch it again because it didn't jump out to me that they badmouthed Scott Mitchell. I think he read between the lines a little bit when they were talking about the contracts because he is the one guy that got the big mega contract. He was supposed to be the quarterback savior and he wasn't. Right. He was okay.
Well, you were just saying that you basically would have taken a Joe Montana at 48 years old or however he was before he went to the Chiefs over Scott Mitchell. I mean,
well, what
more do you want to say?
Why the hell? You take Tom Brady.
I didn't even know Joe Montana played for the Chiefs. I mean, what are we talking about?
He took him to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I guess I'll find that out in the doc.
So. You will. I won't give any more spoilers. I got one other thing. This is along the lines of music. I still watch Saturday Night Live, and their musical guest this week was Noah. Is it Kahan? Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him, but I don't know much. I don't know. That's kind of even a little bit too young for me at 24.
Wow, he's really good. I mean, it's they rocked it out, man. It was excellent. So I'm going to listen to some more of his music on Spotify, and I might even go see him in concert. I mean, it was really, really good. So just a little musical tip for you. Was on SNL this last week. He played a couple songs.
Can always rely on you for keeping SNL afloat and Tedertainment Tonight.
Hey, well, that's one thing they've done forever is they break new artists, sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't, but this guy's going to be around a while. I think he's got a decent band behind him and they have a lot of fun on the stage. I'd definitely pay to see them. So
awesome.
Yeah. SNL does always get good music guests. My one thing is, and it's not like a full on concert, stuff like that. sometimes when I like recently the Foo Fighters were on, and so I stayed up to watch. And there's been a couple other artists that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch because these are people I want to see. And it's very underwhelming sometimes.
I
The
was disappointed with the
performances.
Foo Fighters. I was.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not a full stage. It's, they're, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little bit like, all right, this was cool, but
Right.
I was going to bring one up, not for you guys not to watch. Don't waste your time. So Ed Helms, obviously
God.
very funny dude. The Office obviously made him famous. Been in a bunch of other movies. And Jennifer Garner, again, one super, super good actress. We came across on Netflix. It was straight to Netflix. It's called Family Switch. And we were kind of in the mood for like a Christmas movie, rom-com type of thing. We didn't want to go back and watch the 100 Christmas movies that we've watched a million times. So we're like, oh, cool. Straight to Netflix. Jennifer Garner, Ed Helms, Christmas movie. Awesome. Family Switch. It's a whole storyline with like, the family's ungrateful for each other. The kids' bodies, the kids and the parents basically switch places.
Freaky Friday for the 400th time, basically.
Yeah. And it was the whole time I'm sitting there like, this isn't even really a Christmas movie. This is like Die Hard. It just takes place at Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie. I'd give it, basically like maybe a 0.5 out of 3.
Ooh.
If you want to waste an hour and a half and, you have nothing else to watch, sure, give it a go. But no, don't waste it. Like there wasn't even really very many funny parts.
Yeah.
It was just, I was really surprised. I was like, Jennifer Garner, Ed Helms, this is going to be pretty funny. No, it wasn't.
Ed Helms is really, since, I don't know, I feel like his career could have gone one of two ways, and I still love him. I still think he's a good actor. He's funny as hell. He's gone on this Adam Sandler like route of like these slapstick comedies that are just like horrendous. I saw him in whatever it was, the National Lampoon like Vacation remake. That movie was horrendous. So I'm guessing this was probably along those same kind of stupid comedy lines, and I'm sick of those type of movies, man. It's just horrible.
I know you got a review of something, Jared, but let me just jump in since Matt teed it up for me. Speaking of Christmas movies, my wife said something the other day about, I really want to get watching some Christmas movies. I said, well, Eddie Murphy's got one out. Let's check it out on Amazon. Oh, not good.
It's called like Candy Cane or something like that.
Candy Cane Lane. Yeah. Eddie Murphy. He's on a mission to win this $100,000 after losing his job to have the best decorated house. And he ran into an evil elf, and it goes from there. And I don't even, if you're going to watch it with kids, like my grandkids, I could tolerate it. But my wife and I, two elder statesmen, if you will, to sit down and waste an hour and a half with the premise, it's Eddie Murphy. I didn't look anything up, but no.
That is a bad omen for this Beverly Hills Cop remake that's coming out with Eddie Murphy.
You might be right.
I saw the pictures of him wearing the Detroit Lions jacket. It's awesome, but it's going to be terrible. Probably along the same lines of what Ed Helms movie was, and whatever this Christmas Candy Cane
Lane 1.5. I at least give it 1.5.
All right, I got one more review. We're going long, so I'll make this quick. I wanted to maybe be a little bit more brevity to this, but it is what it is. So Barbie, I saw it.
Okay.
Oh, we're back to Barbie. Okay.
Yeah, last time we'll probably talk about it forever. 2 out of 3 thumbs up. Entertaining, had some good laughs. The message, to me, it was a good message. I think it was a funny premise. Basically, what they play off of the whole movie is that Barbie Land is ran by women. Real life is ran by men. And every joke, every laugh is basically playing off of that fact. I think it's funny in theory, but my God, it was so on the nose the whole damn time. Like it was like spelling it out. Like you would have thought that it was like third graders watching this movie. The way every joke, like it wasn't like they hinted at it and really made it come home. It was like every time they hammered it over your head like 10 times what's going on. And it's I really think it's still a good movie. It entertained me. I watched the whole thing, loved it, thought it was a really funny movie, had some good parts to it. But I think it was a C movie that Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling were perfect castings, made it a B. But I think the premise and with those two guys headlining it, it could have been an A movie. And I think it was like a B minus B. I enjoyed it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. The color of the movie, the music, the Barbie Land, everything was awesome. The set was awesome. Will Ferrell, his whole crew, I thought they had some funny moments that I enjoyed. But just at the end of the day, just my God, I can't stand when movies like make you feel like an idiot. That's how it felt. And it felt like it was just hammering it over your head, like what the premise of this was. When if they would have maybe cut that in half and really made those moments really, sting, it could have been a lot better. But it still was good, and it wasn't a movie made for me. It's a woman. It's a movie made for women.
Right.
It was a good movie. I was entertained by it. I get why some people maybe were turned off of it. At the first, 15, 20 minutes, I was like, man, I don't know if I'll make it through this. Got better. When the Barbie land was turned to Ken land was definitely probably the funniest part of the movie. That was great. Ryan Gosling was great. But I'll just read a review that kind of synopsis it real quick, a paragraph. This is from RogerEbert.com. Christy Lemire. This is what she wrote. I don't know who the reviewer is, but I agree. Basically, she said everything I'm saying now. Quote unquote, the middle-aged mom in me was nodding throughout in agreement, feeling seen and understood as if this person knew me and was speaking directly to me. But the longtime film critic in me found this moment of preachy momentum, basically saying how the whole movie felt preachy, too heavy-handed, too on the nose, despite its many kind of insights. And that's what I would say, too. It's great premise, just could have been pulled off a little bit better.
I mean, I think that's a fair criticism because they were clearly trying to prove a point. But, that would be the criticism, is that they were trying to prove the point too much. I don't think it was on the nose too bad. I think because I went into it maybe knowing that's what it was going to be like, but also I kind of feel like I went into it thinking this is what Barbie is. Barbie is the whole thing about the Barbie brand is, women empowerment and women opportunity and all that kind of stuff. So if you're going to do a movie about Barbie, that's what the Barbie story is. So that's kind of why I went into it knowing we're about to get the most feminist movement movie ever, maybe ever, So that would be, kind of only my thing. But it wasn't like the best movie I've ever seen. I'm going to go watch it 10 more times, not like that.
Right. It seemed like when they went to the real world with Ken and Barbie, like it was maybe 5 minutes. Like I felt like they could have really extrapolated that part of the movie out. That was the best stuff. I mean, that's like, it was like they were trying to emulate Elf, kind of this real world type thing. And I don't think it totally landed. But
yeah, that's a fair point.
But the bones of the movie was good. So that's like where I can't fault it too much. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. The script, in my opinion, left a little bit to be desired, but still, it had me laughing, had me enjoyed. I liked the whole thing throughout. One thing that my favorite part outside of the Ken Land, Barbie Land becoming Ken Land, was the fact that once it became Ken Land, was like their favorite song was like "Push" by like Matchbox 20. That's probably was right up your era, Matt. You probably loved that in college.
I love it.
I just thought that was kind of a perfect song to kind of make the Kens all rally behind. So it had a lot of moments like that. So you're like, man, that's funny. But then on top of it, had some of the moments where you're like, okay, we get it.
Right.
Type thing.
Good review. Solid. A lot of substance there. Not bad. I probably will watch it again though, because there was parts I want to see again. Yeah. But okay, fair enough. I think that's it. Any other Tedertainment? Are we good to go?
No, I'm kind of with your wife. That's why we watched that Christmas movie. I'm in the mood for some Christmas movies. We've been talking about, all right, when we get in Home Alone, when we get in Home Alone 2, when we going to watch Elf, Santa Claus, all the other, I love Christmas movies. We've talked about it on the pod before. I'm ready for it too.
Well,
disappointing.
Tee up Candy Cane Lane with your daughter. Okay. Not just you and your wife for a night of entertainment. That's all I'll say.
After that review you just gave, I don't think we're going to be watching that one.
Fair enough. There's a lot of good classic ones out there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's call it a pod. Let's thank our partners. They include Memorial Healthcare's Wellness Center. Make sure you sign up for a 2024 membership at 15% off. Get yourself healthy. Get in shape. Get details at memorialhealthcare.org. Also, AZ Branding Solutions on board with Jacobs Insurance Agency, Corey Shook and Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Rivals Tap House and Grill, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing. Thanks to all of our sponsors. We're in the holiday season. If you're in any of their businesses, definitely tell them you heard their spot here on 3 Point Podcast. Also, Z92.5's Castle Game of the Week coming up Friday, December 8th, 7 o'clock at the Warehouse. The Owasso Trojans and Corunna Cavaliers this Friday night. So definitely, if you can't make it to the game or you can't listen in live, you can hear the replay right here at 3 Point Podcast. That'll do it. Peace and love, everybody. Be kind. Thanks for listening.
When it comes to an emergency, time matters. At Memorial Healthcare in Owasso, our emergency department is Fast ER. We feature low wait times, and we're just a short drive from Flint and Lansing. With emergency trained providers and verification as a level 3 trauma center, Memorial is an acute stroke-ready hospital. For fast, friendly treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, Memorial Healthcare Urgent Care in Owasso and Durand is now open 7 days a week with service from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointment is needed, and we're conveniently located on North State Road across from Meyer in Owasso and on Lansing Road in Durand. We offer on-site x-ray and lab services too. Stop in Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Owasso and 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Durand. Saturday and Sunday, lab hours are from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. in both Owasso and Durand. Memorial Healthcare, Fast ER, and with urgent care, lab, and x-ray services now 7 days a week. We invite you to find out more and visit us at memorialhealthcare.org.